del incendio que se registró en la pasada jornada en la localidad Yaguarú, provincia Guarayos.
Day 3 of the firefight in Lytton, BC.
The effects of climate change are no longer a distant threat. They are a reality. Every year, wildfires destroy thousands of hectares of forest and put entire communities at risk.
Porque el fuego está amenazando y es que avanza.
Yet there is knowledge that has been passed down through generations, knowledge that may now become part of the solution. This is the story of Ancestral Knowledge, a project that brings together Indigenous communities from Canada and Bolivia to share experiences, strengthen stewardship of the land, and work together to address the challenges of climate change. Our first mission had one destination, Bolivia. The goal was to visit 3 Guarayo indigenous communities in the department of Santa Cruz de la Sierra and begin a knowledge exchange between Lytton First Nation Economic Development Corporation from the Canadian province of British Columbia and CEMIG, the Guarayo Indigenous Women's Council. Representing Canada was Juan C. Huishimco Sereño. But before the project could truly begin, it would face its first major challenge. At that time, Bolivia was experiencing a severe social crisis. Major highways remained blocked, and violent clashes between protesters, police, and the military had already claimed the lives of 2 police officers and numerous protesters, while hundreds more had been injured. Given the situation, Juan traveled to Chile on May 6, 2026, where he waited until conditions improved before continuing the journey. More than a month later, on June 13th, he decided to move forward. He entered Bolivia through Santa Cruz de la Sierra, one of the cities least affected by the unrest, where he met with representatives of the National Confederation of Indigenous Women of Bolivia, or CNAMIB, the organization that provides administrative support to the CEMIG. At CNAMIB, Juan met the president, Vilma Mendoza Miro, and her entire team, including Jimena Blanco and Angela Agreda, 2 professionals who participated in several meetings organized by BCRIP. Juan waited in Santa Cruz, hoping that the roadblocks would soon be lifted. But day after day, the situation remained unchanged. Finally, on June 18th, a decision was made to rent a 4-wheel drive vehicle and hire a local resident from Yaguarú, one of the participating communities, to serve as a guide. It was time to begin the journey. The main highway connecting Santa Cruz de la Sierra to Ascensión de Guarayos remained completely blocked. Protesters prevented the passage of private vehicles, transport trucks, and even ambulances, forcing us to change our route repeatedly. Each detour reminded us that the real challenge had only just begun. To keep moving, we relied on secondary roads that crossed privately owned farmlands. Many local farmers charged all vehicles a small toll to offset the damage our vehicles caused to these roads, which they were responsible for maintaining themselves. At one point, we had no choice but to drive through a cultivated field. 4 vehicles in our convoy damaged part of the crop, and we monetarily compensated the landowner before continuing. After many long hours on the road, we finally reached the pavement and arrived in Ascensión de Guarayos. There, we rested for one night. The following day marked the most demanding stage of the expedition. Heavy rains had turned the dirt roads into deep mud. Regardless, but not without difficulties, we arrived in Yaguarú, a most beautiful town of approximately 4,000 residents, home to our main contact, Marcelina Arinonga Huiti, regional president of CEMIG, a representative from the town government, and president of the town association, Fabiola Sosa, was also present. The next day, it was time to visit Cururu. The road to Cururu was even worse than the one to Yawaru. In one section of the road, our vehicle became completely stuck. There was only one way forward: to work together. An Indian chief, a cacique, came to assist us with several members of his community. Everyone pushed. We searched for solutions, and we kept moving. But the challenges were far from over. Further ahead, the road to Cururu simply disappeared beneath the water. The only option was to cross the river in a small canoe, carefully transporting both the team and all the equipment needed for the mission. Every obstacle we overcame made the destination even more meaningful. After a hard day of travel, we finally arrived. The Cururu community welcomed us with extraordinary warmth and hospitality. Before discussing reforestation, tree nurseries, or conservation initiatives, it was time to listen. To listen to the stories of the elders, to understand their deep relationship with the forest. To learn how fire, water, and the land exist in a balance that has been protected by the communities for generations. It marked the beginning of a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and shared learning. Because ancestral knowledge cannot be found in books. Ancestral knowledge is passed down from one generation to the next by living on the land and by caring for the land every single day. The final day, we ventured to Urubicha, another neighboring village where the residents live primarily from hunting, gathering, and farming. Again, we were received as if we were family. Once the community visits were complete, we began our journey back to Santa Cruz de la Sierra. By then, much of the social unrest had subsided. The following days were dedicated to meetings with representatives from CEMIG, CNA-MIB, and the Bolivian Foundation for Social Development, which provides financial support to CEMIG and through its legal status can administer international project funding. In the months ahead, Ancestral Knowledge will continue with an Elder Summit, audio-visual training for Indigenous youth, the development of community tree nurseries, the development of communal greenhouses, and the restoration of Guarayo lands damaged by wildfires through the reforestation of native species. Because every meaningful initiative begins the same way, by listening, by learning, and by building trust. When Indigenous communities share their knowledge, they also build a stronger, more resilient future for generations to come. Welcome to Ancestral Knowledge.